In 2025, an international panel of 460 aging researchers reached consensus on exactly 14 biomarkers that predict how you'll age. These are the markers that, when combined together, tell you your true biological age. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down every single one. What they measure, why they matter, what the normal ranges are, and what you can do to improve each one. This is your complete reference guide to understanding biological aging. The research on these 14 biomarkers is rock solid. These aren't random measurements. These are the ones that predict longevity, health span, and disease risk better than anything else. Let me start with the physiological biomarkers. These measure the basic functioning of your body systems. The first one is insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. This regulates growth, muscle development, bone health, and overall vitality. The optimal range for someone aged 60 to 75 is 150 to 250 ng/ml. Below 100 and you start losing muscle and bone. Above 250 and you increase cancer risk. This is a hormone you need to balance, not maximize. The goal is steady, sustainable levels for long-term health. The second is growth differentiation factor 15, or GDF15. This is the mortality biomarker. It measures cellular stress and mitochondrial dysfunction. Higher equals faster aging. Optimal is under 800 pg/ml. A study showed that people with GDF15 over 1/500 have roughly double the mortality risk. The third is blood pressure. This matters more than you think. Optimal is 120/80 or lower. But even 130/85 can indicate accelerated aging if it's elevated compared to your baseline. Blood pressure reflects your vascular health, and vascular aging predicts overall aging better than almost any other physiological marker. The fourth is muscle mass, also called lean body mass. This is measured via DEXA scan or bioimpedance analysis. The more muscle you have, the slower you're aging. Why? Because muscle is metabolically active. It's protective against disease. It preserves independence. Most people lose 3 to 8% of muscle per decade after 30. The fifth is hand grip strength. This might seem random, but it's incredibly predictive. Hand grip strength predicts cardiovascular health, muscle quality, and mortality risk. Weak grip equals accelerated aging. Strong grip equals slowed aging. It's one of the simplest tests to do and one of the most predictive. Now let's move to inflammatory biomarkers. Inflammation is the common denominator in almost all age-related disease. This is where we see true systemic aging. The sixth biomarker is high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hs-CRP. This is a systemic inflammation marker. Optimal is under 1.0 ng/L. Every point of increase is a marker of aging acceleration. The seventh is interleukin-6, or IL-6. This is another inflammation marker. IL-6 is particularly associated with cognitive decline and frailty. Optimal is under 2 pg/ml. Next are TNF-alpha, a marker of immune activation, and homocysteine, which damages blood vessel walls. Both are critical but often overlooked predictors of cardiovascular and cognitive decline. The sixth biomarker is high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hs-CRP. This is a systemic inflammation marker. Optimal is under 1.0 mg/L. hs-CRP is not just a marker of inflammation. It's a marker of aging acceleration. Every point of hs-CRP increase corresponds to accelerated aging. The seventh is interleukin-6, or IL-6. This is another inflammation marker. IL-6 is particularly associated with cognitive decline and frailty. Higher IL-6 equals faster cognitive aging. Optimal is under 2 pg/ml. This is one of the most important markers for brain health. The eighth is tumor necrosis factor alpha, or TNF-alpha. This is part of the inflammatory cascade. High TNF-alpha is associated with muscle loss and weakness. It's not that TNF-alpha itself is bad. It has protective functions. But an elevated baseline equals aging acceleration. It's a marker that your immune system is in a chronic state of activation. The ninth is homocysteine. This is less commonly discussed, but it's critically important. High homocysteine damages blood vessel walls and is a strong cardiovascular risk factor. Optimal is under 10 micromoles per liter. Anything over 15 is concerning. This is a marker that often gets overlooked but is incredibly predictive of heart disease and cognitive decline. Now let's talk about functional biomarkers. These measure how well your body actually works, not just what chemical markers show up in blood tests. The 10th is gait speed. How fast you walk predicts how long you'll live. This is not a metaphor. This is what the research shows. Optimal is at least 1.0 meters per second, which is about 2.2 miles per hour. Slower walking equals aging acceleration. This is why movement analysis matters so much. It catches changes in physical function before they become serious. The 11th is the timed up and go test, or TUG. You stand up from a chair, walk 10 feet, turn around, walk back, and sit down. Time yourself. Optimal is under 12 seconds. Over 15 seconds indicates fall risk and mobility concerns. This test predicts independence and fall risk, which are critical for quality of life in older age. The 12th is the frailty index. This is a composite measure of weakness, weight loss, fatigue, low activity, and slowness. People with high frailty scores have 3 times higher mortality risk. They have higher hospitalization rates. They have lower independence. It's one of the strongest predictors of age-related outcomes. The 13th is balance or proprioception. Stand on one leg. How long can you hold it? Optimal for age 60 to 75 is 30 seconds or more. Under 10 seconds equals high fall risk. Balance is a sensitive marker of neurological aging and vestibular function. Poor balance is one of the first signs of decline in older adults. The 14th and final one is cognitive function. This includes processing speed, memory, and executive function. Cognitive decline is one of the most feared aspects of aging, but it's also one of the most preventable with the right lifestyle interventions. Here's what's critically important. These 14 biomarkers aren't separate. They're interconnected. High inflammation drives muscle loss. Muscle loss drives gait decline. Gait decline drives frailty. Frailty drives falls and hospitalization. Conversely, lower inflammation preserves muscle. Better muscle improves gait. Better gait prevents frailty. Better frailty prevents falls. When you test these biomarkers and get your biological age, you're essentially getting a composite score of how all these systems are functioning together. And the genius of this is, you know exactly which biomarkers you need to improve. For example, you might have excellent cardiovascular markers but poor muscle markers. That tells you to focus on strength training. Or you might have poor inflammatory markers but good metabolic markers. That tells you to focus on reducing inflammation through diet and lifestyle. The metabolic pathway is critical. Your body's ability to process glucose, manage insulin, and produce energy is fundamental to aging. When metabolic health declines, everything else declines. This is why metabolic optimization is so important. The muscle pathway is critical. Muscle is the anti-aging tissue. People with more muscle live longer, have better metabolic health, and better balance. People with more muscle have lower fall risk and better cognitive function. Muscle loss is one of the earliest signs of aging acceleration. The inflammation pathway is critical. Chronic inflammation damages every system in your body. It accelerates aging at the cellular level. Reducing inflammation is one of the most powerful interventions you can make. It protects every system from systemic damage. The nervous system pathway is critical. How well your brain functions, how well you sleep, how well you manage stress, these all affect aging speed. A nervous system in constant activation ages faster than one that can relax and recover. Recovery is a biological necessity. When you combine all 14 together and calculate your biological age, you're getting a prediction of how fast you're aging relative to your calendar age. And then you can take targeted action to improve the specific markers that are dragging your biological age up. This is the power of understanding these 14 biomarkers. This is why the consensus on these specific markers matters, because now we have a standardized way to measure biological age. Now we have a clear framework of what to optimize. Now you know what the consensus is. The next video, we're going to talk about how to actually test these, where to get tested, what it costs, and how to interpret your results. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're curious about your biological age right now, many of these biomarkers you can test yourself through platforms like Inside Tracker. Link in the description. The 14 biomarkers are your roadmap to understanding how you age, and understanding how you age is the first step to actually changing it. Talk soon.